In the back, can you hear me? Haribo? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, great. So once again, please remain quiet, those of you in the hallway, those of you in the back, and I will start it off. So we have two speakers for today. To start off, Brahma Prabhu. He is from Gloucester, Ontario, and is a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And he has been our head pujari for over 3 decades. Wow. He joined the Iskcon temple in Ottawa. Yes, let's give a round of applause. Thank you. He joined the Iskcon temple in Ottawa in the summer of 1983, and the next year, in January of 1984, he was given Diksha initiation. And in June of the same year, he was given Brahman initiation. He had also started Deity worship as soon as he was given Brahman initiation and has been serving as head pujari at Iskcon Toronto, so right here, along with his wife, Satvatanu Mataji. So he is also joined by Bhakti Yoga Prabhu, who was initiated in 1982 by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And Prabhu lived in the ashram here in Toronto for 10 years as a brahmachari. He had also lived in Vrindavan serving as a pujari and in Mayapur served as a director of Sri Mayapur Vikas Sangha and helped establish the Mayapur Hospital. So returning to Toronto, he continues to serve as a pujari, and he served as temple president of Iskcon Scarborough and Iskcon Milton, and is currently a director at Iskcon Stouffville. So let's welcome the both of them, who will be speaking about Deity worship. Haribo! Correction, Brahma Prabhu has been here for 4 decades as a pujari. How amazing! Yes, 4 decades.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Iskcon Toronto. We are so happy that you came today. We know that the weather's been bad recently and there's a lot of snow piled up outside. Hard to find parking, but it's nice that you all came. Thank you very much. So usually we start off our Sunday program with singing Jaya Radha Madhava, and then we proceed from there. But today we'll do it a little different. No Kirtan today, because the subject matter that we'll discuss can be very, very long, but we will make it concise in about 30-ish minutes.
30, 35 minutes, yes.
About 30, 35 minutes. So we'll start now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So we'll find in the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse where Krishna tells Arjuna, Janma karma chame devyam evam yo iti tatvataha taktya deham punarjanma naiti mam iti so Arjuna. So that means one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving this body come back to this material world, but comes to my spiritual abode, O Arjuna. So this is actually a very important verse. It says, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance. So we hear of avatars or incarnations of the Lord, and one category of incarnation is Archa Vigraha. So Archa means worshipable, and vigraha means form. So today we'll be talking about how we worship the Supreme Lord. So generally, when we invite the Lord to come to the temple, like we did back in, I think it was 1972.
52 years back.
Yes. So we invited Shri Shri Radha Chor Gopinath, and there's a festival that takes place. It's called Pran Pratishta, where we invite the Lord to take residence in the body of the deity. So Pran means life. So the life force of Lord Krishna comes and occupies the deity form. So we don't worship statues. We worship the Supreme Lord, because the understanding is when we perform this Pran Pratishta, the Lord actually comes and he's sitting there. So we have these three beautiful singhasanas here, and the Lord is sitting on the singhasan, and he's giving darshan to everyone. So Prahlad Maharaj mentions that there are 9 processes of bhakti, and one is archanam, which is worshiping the Lord, and another is dasyam, which is being a servant. So today we will talk about how, as servants, we worship the Supreme Master. So we see this when we come every time to the temple. We see this worship taking place. But the worship that we see we just had an arti recently around 6 o'clock. So that is actually just a tiny fraction of the worship that takes place. Most of the worship that takes place happens behind the closed doors. So not everyone gets an opportunity to experience that. But we can experience it in a small way in our homes, right? And we can be the one, where Krishna says, one who understands the transcendental nature of my appearance. So one of the appearances of the Lord is the Archa Vigraha form. So if we can come to fully understand this, we can be that one. And we can go back home, back to Godhead, and see Krishna face to face. But we don't have to wait until the end of this life to see Krishna face to face. We can see him now. Because if we understand that this is Lord Krishna himself that is standing there, then we have come that much closer to understanding the purport of that particular shloka. So if you, I think most people here have an altar at home. Yeah? Not many. Oh. How many has an altar at home? Okay.
Quite a bit.
Yes. So Krishna also says, there's a very famous verse where he talks about offering things to him. Anyone know that verse? Patram pushpam valam toyam yome bhaktiya prayachati. So he says, offer to me with love and devotion a fruit, a flower, leaf, or water. But he actually doesn't just mean that we go and we get a fruit and we offer. That's so easy. Or just pour some water in the kitchen sink in a glass and offer, or pick one tulsi leaf and put and offer. No. What he wants is our love and devotion, right? Fruit, flower, leaf, and water he has in abundance. He created that, that's his. But he doesn't have the love and devotion, our love and devotion to him, that he doesn't have. And that's what he wants. So if we want to be with him, if we want to go to Goloka Vrindavan and be with him all the time, then we need to exhibit that love and devotion to the Lord. So in the process of doing our daily sadhana, which is our daily worship of the Lord, we start off, you might see everybody is wearing tilak, right? So this tilak is clay from Vrindavan. So we put the tilak on, and we start with the forehead, and we dip some tilak on our fingertip, and we apply it to our forehead. We pull it up without using your fingernails, and we chant Om Keshavaya Namaha. And then we put some here, right? And this is, so when we do this and we make the center of the tilak clean, we're establishing a temple of Lord Madhava here. And then the part that on the bottom represents a tulsi leaf. So tulsi is always found on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So I don't know how, yes, so you can see in this picture that was taken by Brahma Prabhu this morning, we can see tulsi leaves offered to the lotus feet of Gopinath. And that's where Tulsi always resides. She got this blessing from Krishna that she will always reside at his lotus feet. So she's there. So this is what this part of the tilak represents. So we apply the tilak and we say Om Keshavaya Namaha. Then around our navel region, Om Narayanaya Namaha. And then Om Madhavaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Then on the side, Om Vishnavaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. Om Trivikramaya Namaha. Om Vamanaya Namaha. Om Shridharaya Namaha. Om Rishikeshaya Namaha. Upper back. What is the next mantra? Om Padmanabhaya Namaha. Lower back. Om Damodaraya Namaha. And whatever is left on the Sika region, even Mataji's, you have your thick Sika back there. Om Vasudevaya Namaha. And then we chant Lalade Keshavam Nayanam Narayanam Nadotare Vakshastatale Madhavam tu Govindam Gandhakupake. So once we've applied tilak, then we do Achaman. So many of us, we do puja, we have a little glass, we have one there. So we call this an Achaman cup. And in the cup there's a spoon, we call that spoon a kushi. So we put 3 drops of water in the palm of our hand and we chant Om Ke. So Brahma Prabhu will demonstrate. Yes. So I'll be doing most of the talking and Brahma Prabhu will do the demonstration. So while he's doing it, I will say the mantra. So we put 3 drops in our right hand and we look at it and we chant Om Keshavaya Namaha and then we sip it. Then we flick that, whatever is left in the hand aside, we wash our hand and then we put some more water and we chant Om Narayanaya Namaha. Then Om Madhavaya Namaha. So that's a simplified version. Then there's a more intricate version. Do you want to do the full version? Yeah. You might get, there's a lot of mudras involved. You put your finger in a certain way and you touch certain parts of your body. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. Yes. So there's so many, you touch, you put some water in your mouth, you chant the mantra, you touch your 2 cheeks, your lips, and so you're purifying. So the idea is that we've already taken bath. We've woken up, we brushed our teeth, did our morning rituals in the bathroom, we take our bath, we wear fresh clothes, we put on our tilak. So for prabhus and even matajis, with your shirt off, you apply the tilak and all the different. So you're not just like lifting up your shirt and try to do some fancy, you have your shirt off and you offer it nicely so that you can actually clean inside of each area. And so so we've taken a bath. So the Achaman is meant to purify us internally. Right? And then when we finish purifying ourselves internally with this water, again with clean, freshly washed clothes. So if you go to the bathroom, whatever you do in there is considered to be contaminating. So you throw those clothes aside to be washed, take a bath. Especially if we do number 2, bath is definitely required. So for doing puja, if we do 1 and 2, bath, fresh clothing. Right? Fingernails short, There can be crud underneath. We don't want that if we're making chapatis. So Srila Prabhupada told us that the kitchen is an extension of the altar. And there are actually 3 principles of devotional, of deity worship. So cleanliness, what's the other? Punctuality. We should always be on time. And enthusiasm. We should always be enthusiastic. Don't make someone, if someone forces us to worship the Lord, then we will commit offenses. That's the idea. Somebody forced you to do something, you don't want to do it, you will do it half-heartedly, or you will curse them in your mind while you're doing it. So this is offensive. When we're going before the Lord, our entire thought process should be in worshiping the Lord. The whole world can come to an end outside, and we wouldn't notice because we are so focused in our devotion. So this is a training that we need to do, to train ourselves. So we've gotten up, we've cleaned ourselves externally, put on fresh clothes, we've done Achaman, so now we've cleansed ourselves internally. So there's one aspect of devotional service called Manasa Puja. So we clean our mind. At the end, we will say a prayer where we're asking forgiveness. So the Lord is so kind. He knows that as long as we possess these material bodies, we're bound to make mistakes. We can find in the Nectar of Devotion, there are 64 major offenses mentioned. And Rupa Goswami talks about four types of mistakes that we can make, right? As long as we possess these material bodies, we will certainly make mistakes. So the Lord is so kind, He gave us 7 mantras that we can chant at the end to beg Him forgiveness if we've made any mistakes in the mantras that we are reciting, or the process that we engage in when we're doing devotional service. And He's so kind, He will forgive us for those if we actually mean it. That yes, please forgive me for any offenses I might have committed. Actually, it's a good practice that we should do that with others. You know, sometimes knowingly or unknowingly we might commit some offense against another devotee. So it's always nice to get in the mood of begging forgiveness. Our Jewish friends, they have their holiday, the New Year is called Rosh Hashanah. And during that time, they ask everyone for forgiveness. If I've committed any offense in the previous year, please forgive me for those offenses. I will try to rectify myself going forward. And that should be our thought process. And that's a way to help us to exit this material world and go to Goloka Vrindavan, where we can associate with Krishna all the time, forever and ever and ever and ever. So after we've performed Achaman, we're now cleansed, both internally and externally. So we usually get another cup, another Achaman cup, and we invite 7 holy rivers to come in that cup. So you take water from the sink, and for devotees who are second initiated, they have a thread. They wrap it around their thumb and use the ball of your finger without letting your nail touch the water. And you swirl it in a clockwise motion, and you chant, or you can use your middle finger as well, but we don't want to show that finger here. So we'll do this finger, the ring finger. And then, because that finger means something else in this society, so we'll use this finger. So we swirl around in the water in a counterclockwise, and we chant Gange cha Yamuna chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jalasmin Sanimin Kuru. And then there are ways you can chant 8 times on the little sections of your finger over the water. You do a mudra, which is a hand motion, and you put it over the water, and you chant Om, Om, Om 8 times over the water. And then that water is considered to be sanctified. It's considered that these 7 holy rivers, you've meditated on them and you called on them, so they've now come and taken residence in that water. And so now that water we will use to purify all of the items that we use for worshiping the Lord. Haribol. So that water we will use to purify everything. So we have all these different items that we offer. Now we use that water to purify them. Also, before we perform an arti, we do an offering. So Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam. So we are using our hard-earned income to go to the supermarket and buy fruits and vegetables, right? Because we have to eat. If we don't eat, we won't be like this anymore, we'll be like this. So if we want to stay like this, we eat. So we nourish the body, gives the body energy so that they can serve the Supreme Lord. We follow a system called sanatan dharma. So the word sanatan means eternal, and dharma means, sometimes it's translated as meaning religion, but actually dharma means duty. What is our duty? Our duty is to eternally serve Lord Krishna. That is our duty. So there's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that says, Jiver Swarup Hoy Nityar Krishna Das. So this, the manifestation of the jiva, the atma, the soul within the body, which is our real self. This body is just an external covering of our real self. Our real self is the atma, the soul that resides within. And so this soul, Krishna talks in the Bhagavad Gita, how it transmigrates from boyhood to youth to old age, and then into another body at death. And there's the cycle called samsara, which happens all the time. But if we want to break the cycle, we surrender to the Lord, we serve Him, we serve His worshipable form. And Srila Prabhupada said, we will get to see Krishna face to face. So many of us have heard of Mahabharata or read Mahabharata or seen a movie made on Mahabharata, and you see how Arjuna is always with Lord Krishna and he's talking to Lord Krishna one-on-one. So we can qualify and come to that platform where we can also talk to Krishna. We can come and see Him and say, my dear Lord, how beautiful you look today. I love the way you place your mukut on your head, on your turban, right? I love the way how you're looking at Radharani, or how Radharani is looking at you today. I love the way how you hold your flute, right? Every aspect. Actually, when we come to the temple, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it explains, it describes so one incarnation of the Lord, where He's talking to His mother Devahuti, in the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is his name? Lord Kapiladev. So Lord Kapiladev explains to Mother Devahuti how one should take darshan when they come before the Lord. So when we come, we don't look at the Lord face to face. We start at His lotus feet. And then we slowly move our eyes up to His thighs, then up to His waist. I'm not sure if Krishna is wearing a horn today. Sometimes Krishna wears a horn around his waist, and he used that horn when he and the cowherd boys are out in the forest to blow that horn to round up the calves. The cowherd men were looking after the cows and the bulls, and Lord Krishna and Balaram and all the cowherd boys are looking after the calves. So to round up those calves, all Krishna has to do is he blow on that horn, and all the calves comes running. They come running to him. Sometimes he blow on the flute, but that's even more sweet. And when he blows at the flute, not just the calves come running, but every living entity immediately takes notice. Even the trees, they're all noticing. And all the gopis comes running. The gopis might be busy putting on what they call it, kajal? The black stuff around the eyes. And when they hear, they're doing the thing, and then they hear Krishna flute, and the hand just goes down, and and then you have like black stuff down the side of the face because they're so ensnarled by the beautiful sound of Lord Krishna's flute that they completely forget this material body. And they're just swimming in spiritual bliss. So this is the power of the flute of Lord Krishna. So around his waist, sometimes you would see he's wearing a horn. And that's what they use. Sometimes if you go to Vrindavan, we have Krishna Balaram in the center altar. And some days both of them are wearing their horns. And they look so magnificent. So we slowly move our eyes up to their waist, and we look. Sometimes he's wearing a beautiful belt. Sometimes it's a belt of, is he wearing a belt? I can't see well from here. Is he wearing a belt today?
Belt out of beads?
Yes. Sometimes he wear a belt out of jasmine flowers arranged in a beautiful formation. Or sometimes he wear a belt out of fabric. So he can wear whatever he wants, whatever his choice is that day. This worship of the Lord is very intimate between the Lord and his devotee. So every day, Brahma Prabhu, for the last 40-something years, Brahma Prabhu and Mother Satvatanu, every single day, they are here, 7 days a week. Last week, last Saturday morning and Sunday morning, in the middle of the snowstorm, they live just like a few blocks from here over on
We're about 10 minutes away from the temple.
what's the name of that street?
Hillsborough.
Yeah, it's off, what's that main one?
Davenport.
It's off Davenport. So they have to walk. They come to Avenue and then they come down Avenue. The sidewalks aren't cleared because nobody's up at 3:30 in the morning when they're coming. So they're walking in the middle of the road. Just imagine, you're walking in the middle of Davenport and the middle of Avenue Road to come here so that they can wake the Lord. So we offer obeisances to them. In the middle of the not blazing, that's probably not the word, but the blizzardous, I don't know if that's a word either, but the blizzardous snowstorm that was happening. And sometimes they fall. Sometimes they slip and fall. Mother Satvatanu was coming a few weeks ago, early in the morning, and she slipped on black ice and fell, and she couldn't get up. And nobody was around because he came first, and she comes 10 minutes behind. And so a taxi driver was passing, he stopped, he picked her up, helped her up, and he offered to drive her, and she said no because she doesn't know him. No, I'm not going. So he was kind enough, Krishna sent him. He was kind enough, he drove slowly behind her as she walked until she came and she opened the side door, and he was happy that she was safe, and then he took off. So this is Lord Krishna taking care of his devotees. So if we can serve Lord Krishna like this, he will take care. No matter what, he will always be there for us. And we can be that one, right? One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities. Does not upon leaving this body comes back to this material world, but comes to my transcendental abode, O Arjun. So we can be that one. We just have to, Srila Prabhupada said, we should act in such a way that Lord Krishna sees us. Right? In this world, if you see somebody and you fall in love with them and you want them to notice you, you're going to do all kinds of things that it takes for that person to notice you. Right? So just simply by serving the Lord, He will notice us. And He will take care of us, no matter what. Sometimes He put us through a little bit of trial and tribulation to see how committed we are. Right? He wants to see, are we, actually, He doesn't do it Himself. He has His agent that does it. And she does a wonderful job. Does anybody know what her name is? Maya. We see Durga Devi sitting there with 8 arms, right? She's doing all kinds, and one of those arms have a whip in it. That's for us. So be careful. So she is the one that does it on His behalf. But she, for devotees, she is gentle. But if you're not a devotee of her Lord, she is not gentle, I'll tell you. So now we're up to the beautiful waist of the Lord. Then we move our eyes higher to His chest, His big broad chest. And on His chest He has 2 jewels. One is called a Kaustubha jewel and the other is called Syamantaka. Around His neck He wears a beautiful garland that goes all the way down to his knees. And these garlands are made out of forest flowers from the forest. And there's always bumblebees getting maddened by the fragrance that's emanating from the flowers in the garland. And they're buzzing around. But these are not bees that will bite you. These are bees that are completely intoxicated, because just by the mere wearing of the garland enhances the beauty of the garland. Just the Lord wearing the garland, He enhances the beauty of that. It's not that the garland is enhancing His beauty. He is the most beautiful. So He enhances the beauty of the garland. And so these bumblebees become maddened by the fragrance that's emanating from the garlands. Now we look, so today this is winter, so the Lord is wearing his shirt has long sleeves. But sometimes if you come in the summertime, you would see that He's wearing short sleeves, so you can actually see His bare arms. So usually around his biceps, He wears these beautiful, what do they call them? Huh? Yeah, well, that's a technical word, but what's an English word for it? Armlets. He's wearing beautiful armlets, but He's also wearing bangles, right? And He's wearing rings. So sometimes you might see Gopinath is standing there with holding his flute, and you would see, depending on the day, because whatever he wants to wear that day, he puts that in the mind of the pujari who's dressing him. And so you will see every time you come, he looks different. Why? Because he doesn't want to be like us. You wear drab, white dhoti and white kurta every day, right? But we're das. It's not, we don't want to be noticed. We want him to be noticed. You notice when the pujari is doing the arti, Brahma Prabhu was doing the arti earlier, he doesn't stand in the middle, he stands on the side, because the center of attraction is Shri Shri Radha Kirchor Gopinath, not the servant. But the servant becomes elevated because he's worshipping the master. Right? Krishna told Arjun to kill all these soldiers on the battlefield are already dead. You're just an instrument in my hand to end their lives. But I've already decided, because they're all adharmic. They are not following dharma. So the opposite of dharma is adharma. So they're all adharmic. He also says, that he comes from time to time to protect the devotees, to annihilate the miscreants, and to re-establish the principles of dharma. So this Lord Krishna comes every so often to do that. So now I think our time is like chugging along.
Excuse me, Bhakti Yoga. Also in the summertime, we don't put always a blouse on Krishna. We leave him bare chested, so you'll be able to see his chest and his big arms.
Yes. And he has very hard biceps. If you've seen, he actually has abs. Have you ever heard that song? Adharam madhuram nayanam madhuram ashitam. So in that song, that one verse talks about his abs. They call it belly folds, but abs, it's abs. He has washboard abs. You know? So sometimes the Lord wants you to see his abs. So he puts it in the mind of the devotee, don't put a shirt on me today. Let the devotees get a chance to take darshan of my abs. So then we move up. Sometimes he's wearing a choker around his neck. You know, it's a type of very close wearing necklace. It's so close, people call it a choker, but you never get choked on it. But anyway, then he says to Mother Devahuti to take darshan of the beautiful face of the Lord. And the Lord is always smiling. And he describes that his teeth are like rows of pearls. His mouth is described as like a pond, and his tongue like a fish swimming in that pond. And his beautiful lotus-like eyes are darting back and forth. Why are his eyes darting back and forth? Because remember I mentioned earlier, we act in such a way that the Lord sees us. He wants to see his devotees. So his eyes are darting back and forth. He's looking at everyone. And then on his head, he wears a beautiful mukut, a crown. And it's decorated, and most often than not, actually always, you will see a peacock feather on his crown. Also, he's wearing beautiful earrings that are swinging to and fro. As he's moving and he's looking, his earrings are swinging to and fro. So this is the way Lord Kapila Dev, an incarnation of the Lord, describes to Mother Devahuti how one should take darshan of the beautiful forms of Lord Krishna. And standing beside him is his internal quality, his internal potency that manifests in the form of Radha. So Radha and Krishna together, they are giving darshan to everyone. So our time actually, this is actually a very vast subject. And we can conduct a seminar, if you like, for a few hours, and we can go through in more details. And if you're all interested, you can see Vishwambar Prabhu. And we can, if we have enough of a consensus, we can put on a seminar on a Saturday, maybe 4 to 6 hours. Actually, this coming Saturday on the 1st of March, we're doing one at Iskcon Milton for 6 hours. But if you come, we'll provide prasadam. You come, and we can go through in more details. You can ask questions. Today, there's no chance to ask questions. So what we're going to do next is we'll do the offering. So Brahma Prabhu will offer. Usually we cover so that no one sees. Only Krishna should see the offering first. But in this case, we will take the covering off because we're doing a training, if you will. So what we do is that water that we sanctified earlier and we chant Om over, we will now sprinkle that water to sanctify the food that is about to be offered. And then once that is done, we do some mudras over it and all that, but I don't think we will do that today. And then we will chant, we take the bell and we ring the bell. We set up on the altar, we would set up tables with seats. so that the Lord can come, and we invite the Lord to come off the altar and sit at the tables. And we make these offerings. And so then we will chant, I'll chant the mantras as Brahma Prabhu ring the bell. So we chant three mantras 3 times to do the offering. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyari Shatarini Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyari Shatarini Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyari Shatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namna Gaura Tushe Nama Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namna Gaura Tushe Nama Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayati Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namna Gaura Tushe Nama Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmanaya Taya Cha Brahmanaya Taya Cha Dev Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Nama Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmanaya Taya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Nama Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmanaya Taya Cha Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Nama. And so that concludes the prayers that we would recite when we're doing the offering, and at that point we exit the room and we allow the Lord to enjoy His meal. And we give, if it's a full cooked meal that we're offering, we give Him about 15 to 20 minutes to have his lunch or his meal. If it's something small, some fruits, we give about 10 to 15 minutes, let Him enjoy in peace. After all, He's been sitting all day, being very, sitting like a king that He is, giving darshan to everyone with His right hand. So now when the doors are closed, He gets a chance to relax. And then after He relaxes for a while, and we open the doors again He's sitting there in a very formal way, giving darshan to everyone. And again when the door closes. Just like we do. So we get this from Him. He is the our eternal Father, and we are His we are His children, and so we get this from Him. So once the offering is done, it's removed, we invite the Lord to go back onto the Singhasan where He sits, and then we offer arti. Do we have the time to offer the arti now? What is our time like? So after this, it's prasadam. So would you like to see an arti, or would you like to have some prasadam? How many wants to see an arti? How many wants prasadam? Okay, so we'll do a quick arti. So we start, each item that we pick up, we purify. So first, we take that sanctified water that we created, if you will, earlier, and we purify each item. So we start with the bell and a stick of incense. We can also do 3 sticks of incense if we like. So we purify the incense, we purify the bell, and there are mantras that we recite. I don't want to recite those mantras right now. Some of them are only meant for second initiated devotees, and this is mantras that are given by your guru. And but I will say it in English what that mantra means. So we take the incense and we start at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. We offer 4 times to the lotus feet, then 2 to around His waist, and then 7 times around the body. So the reason why we do 4 to 7, the idea is to concentrate on His lotus feet, just like when we're taking darshan. So we concentrate we meditate on offering to his lotus feet, then we meditate and like this entire body. So we do both for Radha and Krishna. And in the case when we're doing on the altar, we start from the left and we work our way across. Sometimes we have three pujaris doing, and sometimes only one. So when we offer that incense, we just basically say, my dear Shri Shri Radha Kirchor Gopinath, please accept this offering of incense. That's basically the meaning of the mantras that you would recite when you're second initiated and you're doing. Then we move to the lamp, the ghee lamp. So you can offer many variations of ghee lamps, depending on the opulence that you want in your worship. As we advance in spiritual life, we want to increase the opulence of our offerings to the Lord. Right? Sometimes now we might only be offering water and tulsi leaves. So we want to increase and make nice succulent sabjis and rice, 5, 6 different types of rice, etc. and offer. So now we're going to offer the lamp, the ghee lamp, and this time we're offering 4 times around the lotus feet, 2 times around his waist, 3 times around his face, and then 7 times around his body. And we're chanting Sanskrit mantras, basically saying, my dear Shri Shri Radha Kirchor Gopinath, please accept this lamp that we're offering. Actually, according to scripture, this is the actual arti, the offering of the lamp. The other items are supplemental to this one. So we offer the lamp. When we finish offering the lamp, you might see the pujari comes out and he's offering the lamp outside. Why? What is he doing? Because when the arti is taking place, all of the devatas, they come down to witness the arti. And they are there, but we can't see them because we don't have the eyes to see them. But they're associates of the Lord, and they come. So when the Lord gets his arti, then they get their share. The prasadam is offered to them in this big vast space. And after it's offered to them, then it's come to us, and we all get a chance to bow. Next, we offer water. So this is called argyam. So the idea is the Lord has walked, maybe the weather is very hot and he wants to refresh himself. So we are offering water to the Lord, and we offer this 7 times over his head. And the idea is that the Lord will take the water in his hand and he will sprinkle it on his body just as a refresher. Sometimes people keep a little squirt bottle in the summertime and it's right? So like that, the Lord, this water is offered and the Lord, it's sprinkled all over the Lord's body as a refresher. Then again, it's offered to all of the assembled associates of the Lord and all of the Vaishnavas, all the devotees that are assembled. And then sometimes devotees come around and they're sprinkling, or they put some in their hand and they throw. But this is all sanctified holy water, and we want to have some on our head. And then the next item is a handkerchief that we offer. And this, now that the Lord's sprinkled water, he wants to, maybe it's too much, so he wants to wipe it off a little bit, right? So this handkerchief is offered to him. So remember, this is personal service, right? And we treat the Lord as just like we would have a guest come to our house, and we would go all the way out to make that guest feel welcome. He is the most important. Sometimes in India, you hear people say VVIP. He's like VVVVVVVIP. He's the most important person. And we don't want him to just come for a moment or two. We want him to be with us all the time. Some of you might have heard that prayer. It's called, I forget what it's called, and it says, all my life you were walking beside me, your footprints in the sand. I think it's called footprints in the sand. And then all of a sudden the prints aren't there, and at that time the Lord is carrying us. So kind of like that. We want that our Lord to be with us all the time. Although He is within the heart observing, but we want more. So then the next are flowers. So we would say a mantra over the flower before we offer it. And basically what we're saying, we're offering homage to the plant that provided those flowers, that you are so fortunate that you get an opportunity to sit at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And you become liberated just by offering your flower to be offered to the Supreme Lord. And so we offer those flowers. And again, we say, my dear Lord, please accept these beautiful flowers. And then, when that is done, then we have the chamra whisk fan. And we wave that chamra, that if there are any flies that are around, shoo them away. Just like we're sitting in the summertime, something, a fly come and land on your hand and it's moving and it's very annoying, right? It's crawling on your, you're flicking it away. So like that, we don't want flies moving around. So Brahma Prabhu didn't, at the beginning he didn't blow the conch, and I don't know if he will blow it at the end. It's up to him. So the reason why we blow the conch is sometimes there are inimical beings that are around that we might not be able to see with these eyes. So the conch is meant to shoo them away. Get away from here. If you're inimical, we don't want you around. Because actually we're being kind to them. Because if they're inimical, they're committing offenses against the Lord. So we're kind. Just go somewhere else in another room so we can do what we're doing here. So, and that there concludes the arti. So sometimes just one last thing before we wrap up. So again, I mentioned earlier that the Lord is kind and He provides mantras that we can ask for forgiveness. Today's program is actually done in memory of Mother Yasamonti Patel, who was a great devotee in our community for decades. She served here, and she recently passed away a couple of weeks ago. Her picture is over there in front of Srila Prabhupada. So as long as, I mentioned it earlier, as long as we have these material bodies, we're bound to make mistakes. So the Lord is so kind, He gave us mantras. So I'm going to recite these 7 mantras, and we will offer these mantras to the Supreme Lord, Shri Shri Radhakirti Gopinath, on behalf of Yasamonti Mataji, and we will ask Him to forgive her for any offenses she may have committed during her time. So we offer these mantras every day after our puja for ourselves, for any mistakes that we may have committed while offering the puja. So Brahma Prabhu just if there was some mistake, we're asking forgiveness. While I was reciting the mantra for the offering, I made a little bit of a boo-boo. I missed one or two words. So those are mistakes. So we ask for forgiveness. So the mantra goes like this. Mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janardana yad pujitam maya deva paripurnam tadastame yad datam bhakti matrena patram pushpam valam jalam aveditam nivedyantu tadgrihan anukampaya viddihinam mantrahinam yad kinchirupapaditam kriya mantra viniham va tat sarvam shantumarasi agyanadat pragyanada shubhyam yan maya kritam shantumarasi tat sarvam nashe naiva grihan Sthiti seva gatiriyatra smritis chintastu tirvachaya bhuyat sarvatmana vishnu maryam dvaicheshitam aparadishahastani kriyante had nishamaya dasho hamiti mamatva kshamashva madhusudana pratigyatava govinda name bhaktiha pranashyati iti shamishmritya pranan sandharayamyaham Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Om Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. And that concludes our session for today. And as I mentioned, if you're interested in a longer version, more detailed, you can see Vishwambar Prabhu and we can arrange for something down the road. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna. Yes, big round of applause. Amazing, great. So did everyone learn something from this introduction class to Deity worship? Yes? I'm going to quiz you. What's the first step of Deity worship? No? Come on. I thought everyone learned something. First step. Taking a bath. You need to get clean, right? Clean yourself, put a fresh set of clothes on, and then of course apply Tilak with all the proper mantras. Okay, so you guys can watch it later, rewatch it, learn again. Okay, so we have a few quick announcements before Prashadam. We are running late, and the Deity doors will open at 8 p.m. So we are going to ask that you please leave the temple hall to enjoy your Prashadam once they open. But again, a few announcements when we're in. So today we are fasting for Vijaya Ekadasi, and we will be breaking our fast tomorrow morning between 9:03 a.m. and 10:41 a.m. And who is here for the very first time? With a show of hands. For the first, okay, one person over there. Anyone else? Okay, two in the front. Welcome, welcome. Anyone here for the second time? Okay, so we got a few here. So thank you. Welcome to Iskcon Toronto, and thank you for spending your Sunday with us today. So after the announcements, please see Amala Harinam over here. Please see Amala Harinam over here, and he will give you a tour of the temple as well as talk about the significance of the temple. Great, thank you. Next announcement. Sorry. Okay, yes. We're excited about upcoming festival Shivratri, which is on Wednesday, February 26th, according to the Vaishnava calendar. However, we will be celebrating the festival during Sunday feast on March 2nd. Hare Krishna, everyone in the back, please have a seat. We're still going to do announcements, and then you can line up for Prashadam. They're not going to start serving until I'm done. Thank you. We are also excited to announce another upcoming festival, Gaur Purnima, which is celebrating the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on Thursday, March 13th. Haribol! So there will also be celebrations commemorating Lord Chaitanya on Sunday, March 9th as well, beginning with a special Kirtan starting at 3 p.m., followed by the Sunday feast, arti, and class. Yes. And then our temple offers also more in-person and Zoom classes. So if you enjoyed this class, there are more during the week. So please see the notice board out in the hallway for more details and more classes and to learn more. The temple also has a matchless gift shop with many new items. Gifts, gopi skirts, kurtas, and many more. So please visit the shop, which is just down the hall. Down the hall this way, turn left. And then down the hall further is our very own Govinda's restaurant. So we have a lot of amazing food there, so please visit there as well. And then also visit our temple website at torontokrishna.com to explore darshan times, events, and festivals. We want to also give a very special thanks to today's cooks, Sadhana Mataji and Aditi Mataji. So round of applause. Vivo. And then we have a lot of sponsors for today. So we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the sponsors, which are His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu and his family, for sponsoring today's Sunday feast on the occasion of the 13th day passing away of Yasamonti Mataji, so his wife and the mother of Bobby Prabhu. And then the second sponsor, obviously not in order, but the second sponsor is on the occasion of Satya Veer and Savita Devi's granddaughter's birth on November 23rd, 2024. Her name is Mudra, and she is the daughter of Mr. Deepak and Suhag and Vaishnavi Suhag. The next sponsor is Priyanka on her husband Vikrant Pandey's birthday. And then we have 4 anonymous sponsors. So we're going to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times to seek the blessings of Shri Shri Radha Kirshna Gopinath. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. upcoming Sundays, as well as Deity garlands, please kindly approach a devotee at the front desk. Whose kids are these? Yes, let's get your kids. Okay. And then please note that the altar will open at 8 p.m. for Sayan Arti. So once again, we did end the class late. However, the Deity doors will still open at 8 p.m. So if you're still enjoying your prasadam, I'm just going to humbly ask that you leave the temple room. So either go to the hallway to continue eating or go up in the balcony. And that is all. Thank you so. Oh, one more thing. After having prasadam, please don't throw away your prasadam if you have any leftovers. There is bins in the hallway, and devotees will help you with that. And one more announcement.
Hare Krishna. We recently lost a very dear devotee, Mother Yasamonti. She has been serving temple for a very, very long time. And his prabhu, Radha Gopinath Prabhu, they have been wonderful devotees. Please say Hare Krishna for the Mother Yasamonti memory and the services rendered. May she get a place in the Vaikuntha. Hare Krishna! Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for your wonderful service and your family. I'm really thankful to you, all of your family. Hare Krishna. You can enjoy the prasadam now.